So this next part in the book is one of the few sections where I kind of disagree with some of it. Anyway, we'll read through it and then I'll address it as we go. So liminal dreams are so different from other sorts of experiences, including the REM dreams, that it's hard to recall them. So I agree that they're hard to recall, especially if you're in there for a long time. It's a lot to try to remember and come out later and dream journal or something. And she actually has some great techniques for recording your liminal dreams that we'll cover later. And I also agree that they can be very different from REM style dreams, right? Especially in the beginning stages of it. But, hypnagogia also can build up to and lead directly into REM style dreams and out of, in Hypnopompia's case, right, regularly does that. In which case, at that transitional point, in my experience, they are pretty similar to REM style dreams. There's just a few key differences that I've covered in some of my older videos. This is particularly true for hypnagogic dreams. Images, feelings, and associations seem to shift and change every micro moment. Recounting or remembering hypnagogia is like trying to describe everything the water is doing as you stand by a crashing seashore. Hypnagogia moves too fast and has too many components to fit well into a verbal explanation. So again, I think it could be hard to bring out that information to, record later or something like that, where it could be hard to explain. But I mean, in my experience, it's not normally that wild and crazy where it's like, trying to describe everything the water's doing as it's crashing against the seashore. And then in this next section, kind of related to this first one, she says something where I think maybe that's why that was her experience at first, and maybe not so much my experience nowadays. So like a rapidly whirling, free associative kaleidoscope of thoughts, pictures, memories, and perceptions in your mind, hypnagogia creates a wild swirl that's nearly impossible to distill. So it sounds kind of like the waves crashing against the seashore, right? But as I've learned to explore and navigate the liminal dream space over the years, the experience has become simultaneously more complex and more coherent. So, maybe that's why it's not like that for me now, because I've been doing this since I was a teenager. But, with that said, it certainly can get like that for me on the occasion. Normally, it involves something a little bit extra to get me there, but it certainly can get there. But what I think is probably the more likely explanation is, we're all a little bit different from each other, right? So I'll pose that question to you guys. For you who have explored this hypnagogic space before, what's your experience like?